Oh, pregame.
Cool.
Pregame. Oh, pregame. Oh, pregame. Pregame.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it. I just want to keep saying it.
You're awfully close, Dan. You're awfully close to the camera.
Yeah, well, if I have to be, because if I back up and I sort of do this, it's like.
Yeah, you're looking down.
Also, just this table, I just want to lean over it.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I don't really like seeing the fan blade.
Got it.
Oh, man. Well, this is nice and quiet starting to the thing.
Why did you start it so early?
I don't know. I was a little worried it would have trouble like last week.
Oh, okay. Very
So
good.
I wanted to start it. Mostly because I just felt like clicking a button.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of more funny intros for you, but I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, come on. Keep it clean. Is anybody on right now?
No. We're
Oh.
chilling.
Okay.
It's being recorded for posterity, though.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to pop my beer.
Okay.
Off screen to keep the mystery.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have one I have tried before, but not on air, so it's new.
Ooh. Interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting smell. I'm even pouring off screen. Well, no, I'll pour on screen. I got a nice bottle and everything. It's noon. You ready? Oh, shake it out. Shake it out. Get ready. Get ready.
I'm ready, I'm ready.
Shake it out. All right. Whew, man, I'm tired. Having a baby makes
We've been off a week. You should be rested up.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's SEO and IPA. It's a fun weekly hangout about entrepreneurship, inbound marketing, and more for cool people of all shapes, stripes, and colors. I'm Daniel Barrett from Two Friendly Nerds. That's TWOFriendlyNerds.com, the world's friendliest web company. And with me, as always, is the brains behind the operation. Officially, the only reason anyone ever watches this show currently, the highest-rated contributor to Yahoo Answers. It's Patti D'Alessio from reinventinteractive.com. That is reinventinteractive.com. Patti, how are you, my wonderful friend?
I am terrific.
What's that thing behind you with like the horn thing coming out of it?
Oh, can I share? It's kid art.
Yeah, I want to see it. What is that thing?
It's a sundial,
Oh, it's a sundial.
right?
That's cool.
Shadow, like...
I thought it was like a Viking helmet.
No.
From the side, it looks like a Viking helmet.
This room is covered in kid art. I'll have to show you one of my favorites some other time. But
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
yeah, my favorite one is where they had to paint this picture of what you would look like falling from the sky as you're, as you're going closer and closer to the ground. Wait, actually, I think I'll show it. Here, talk
That's
for a
some
minute.
deep-ass stuff.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, I guess while Patty's going to get her favorite piece of kid art, I will talk about my beer for today. So this is the beer I have today. It's actually a gift to me from my friend Denny. Denny is totally awesome. Denny is actually, they're starting a company, a sausage company here in Connecticut. They make their own sort of handmade sausages and stuff.
Awesome.
And I actually named the company as a joke, and it stuck, which is awesome. So the company is now called Connecticut's Worst.
Perfect.
Right?
I love
Amazing,
that.
amazing. So they're getting that going. So they came over to see the baby earlier in the week or last week, and he brought me as a gift this beer, which I've never actually had, but always think about getting. So it's really perfect, and that is the Miles Davis Bitches Brew.
Ah, yes.
Which is very cool. Now, have you ever heard this record?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, incredible, right? I love me some Miles Davis. So we got this nice. It's this nice. Oh, it's really dark.
Mm. What's the style of the beer?
It is, let's see, ale brewed with honey and geisha.
Geishas?
A fusion of 3 threads imperial stout and 1 thread honey beer with geisha root.
Oh, how do you spell that?
Gesho. I don't know what a geisha is.
I don't know what that is either.
On Beer Advocate, it has a 93.
Oof.
The bros rate it 95.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an imperial stout. I did not know that for whatever reason. So yeah, this is the Miles Davis Bitches Brew. I'm really curious.
Yay.
Ooh. It's you definitely get it's got that imperial stout, but it's not heavy.
Yeah.
And then on the back end, it's got like a tart kind of burst to it almost.
Wow.
It's really interesting. Really interesting.
Like a bitter, like a hop?
No, almost like a fruit. Like it's bright and citrusy,
Okay.
but it's not hoppy. It's almost, I don't want to say sour, but it's more on that end of the thing. Anyway, it's really interesting.
Nice.
Because it's an Imperial IPA, so it's 9%. That's actually not super high. Yeah, really interesting. Miles Davis Bitches Brew. Thanks, Denny. I will keep you guys updated about Connecticut's worst. I think they're going to try to get like a food truck and everything. It's going to be awesome.
That's awesome. There's a good friend of mine who's actually a director that I worked under when I was a consultant, and he owns this really famous sausage company out of Manhattan. I found out kind of years later through like LinkedIn or something, but I'll have to tell you the name. I'm forgetting it now, but it's like it's one of the first original ones. It's really old. He kind of bought it and
Oscar Mayer.
No, but it's like Martha Stewart's favorite like sausage in the city. Anyway, so I've got art and I have
favorite sausage.
Okay, so this is what my child would look like falling.
I want to see this. Okay.
Get it? The
She falling out of a doorway?
No, like out of a plane, like free falling in the sky, and you're looking up. It's like a perspective kind of thing. Is that not brilliant?
That's cool.
Yeah.
So her feet are broken.
I'm not sure. You're sort of seeing the bottom of her feet, sort of.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's one of my.
I get what it is, but.
Right? Awful or awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's totally awesome. So
cool
I did that in 3rd grade. Okay, so my beer today is another Flying Dog, right? Now remember Flying Dog? These are the guys that did the Old Bay beer.
Oh yeah, which I want to try.
It's the artist that we all think is kind of freaky and interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is called Snake Dog IPA. I normally drink their Raging Bitch. That's their Belgian IPA, which I really like as a style. It's one of my favorites. So anyway, this is somewhat new to me. I haven't had it until last week, and it's an IPA. It's okay. It's not as huge as I've grown to appreciate my IPAs. But anyway, it's got an 81 on Beer Advocate, and the bros give it a 75 and call it okay. So. Yeah.
Like it's good, it's drinkable, but there's nothing grabbing you about it.
It's not bad. I think Raging Bitch is a lot better. But anyway, cheers, Dan.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, right. That is powerful.
I am excited about today's topic.
Okay, yes. So
excited.
Let me introduce and then.
Okay.
So today we wanted to talk about productivity, automation, systematization, and stuff. And the reason we wanted to talk about this is because, Patti, I saw you on a Facebook group that we're both a member of, posting about how you needed some sort of systems and some sort of something to kind of take away some of the time suck that really comes out whenever you run your own business. There's always these little things like invoicing or sending contracts or just setting up the same kind of thing over and over. They really can take up a lot of time, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So you were sort of complaining that you didn't really have any of those things. And I wanted to talk about that because I was going through a very similar thing last year. And really at this point, there's still like a little annoying things I have to do, but so much of the business runs itself that I actually find myself kind of casting about for things to do sometimes, which is a cool place to be. So, or maybe that just means I'm not busy enough. It's one or the other. But we have a lot of capacity, and that's largely because of the systematization stuff that we've done. And I did the first half of that really before I had a team, the second half of it after I had a team. So it's been really great for me. So I kind of wanted to talk about your experience and then use that as a way to kind of explore some of the tools that I really like using and sort of give people some examples of ways that they can automate a lot of their business, systematize a lot of the boring stuff that they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my issue came about this summer when I found myself trying to go away on vacation and really not being able to let the work go.
Yeah.
And I don't have a team. I am the business right now. So I really wasn't able to go, 2 days without doing work and doing the business, and which is not horrible at the state I'm at right now, but I did call out. I'm like, listen, what systems do you use that enable you to step away from the business and actually take a break and go on vacation? So, and you, just historically, I know that we've mentioned this before here, have amazing magically set up systems that I'm, really, really jealous of and could learn from. So, yeah. I want to know what you do and how you do it. And I have learned from you. I've done some of these things. I've done the if this then that, and I've done some of those other triggering automated. I've got some of my reporting going on, and we can talk a little bit about that. I was mentioning my accounting package that I'm sort of getting some smoother systems around. So anyway, school us, Mr. Barrett.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you mentioned, so there's a couple different general things that I do. And so my goal was always that I wanted a minimal number of things in place, right? Because the more things you have in place, the more complicated it gets. So I think what a lot of people do is they'll kind of buy like a bunch of different solutions, or even like in the general sense of kind of talking about productivity, they'll get some productivity system that requires you to have like 900 different things going on. And it's like the system itself takes so much effort to maintain that you lose whatever benefit you got out of it, right?
Right. So or phone apps. Yeah, we all have a to-do, a reminder, another list, phone app.
Yeah. I don't have a to-do app.
Okay.
And that's actually the reason that I got rid of all of them. Because my whole thing was like, if I have to take it out and write it down, I'm never going to do it.
Right.
So to-do list app, I would get all these really cool ones, and I would never use them. So there's a couple kind of general things that we can talk about, like sort of general things that were big kind of breakthroughs for me. But really, we can talk about your specific, like what are the tasks that you need to automate, right? But there are a couple of general things. One, I think the most overlooked productivity tool is email.
Yep.
And that's why I don't have a to-do list app, because I have an email. And my email inbox is my to-do list. So, if people always talk about, it's like, what's the one thing you check multiple times a day? You're in it all day. You're in it. You're in and out. It's your email, right? And if you just say like, okay, anything that's in my email box is basically a to-do list or a message I need to reply to, it's really easy. There's one place to go check. So for current things that are happening right now, everything's in my email. I use Gmail because there's a lot of really amazing kind of add-ons and tools for it that make it really incredible. But the thing I did with email that makes it capable of doing that is, one, I emptied out my inbox. So whatever you need to do that. For a Gmail, one of the reasons I like it is because they have an archive button, which sort of puts things out of your inbox. It depends on how you have things set up. But everything goes into my inbox from all my different emails. And when I'm done with something or I don't need to read it, I archive it. So that empties it out of my inbox. And my inbox is just things I either haven't read or haven't responded to. The other thing I did was put in a ton of filters. In Gmail, filters can sort of take messages depending on where they're, who they're from or what they say, and slot them into different boxes. So one of the biggest things you can do is I just created a filter. It said any mail that includes an unsubscribe link, put it in an optional folder. So don't even put it in the inbox. I never see it. It only goes to my optional folder. So what that does is like all your newsletters, all the stuff that you sign up for that you want to read, but you don't want to see like every second of every day.
Right.
You put it in the optional folder. You check your optional folder like once or twice a day. Whenever you have time, you're just kind of killing time. But that means that your inbox is just usually messages that you care about.
Right. Now I love that. I love that. So you have an inbox. It's the whole inbox zero thing, right? You've completely zeroed out your inbox, which is huge. Don't even gloss over that. That's massive. I've got 5,737 just unread emails in my, right? Okay, so that's huge, and it's brilliant. Anything with an unsubscribe goes into an optional folder.
Yep. And you have a folder that's like optional, and then you have your inbox, which is immediate.
Yeah.
Right? And so basically the things you don't really need to get to pretty much all go to the optional folder. And sometimes you get things messed up or messages from the people go into optional, and when you see that, you just make a filter that says don't do that with this guy.
Yeah.
But filters are incredibly powerful. Right? Because you could you could do the same thing as like anything that says forward. Or like whatever. It's really can be really powerful, and you just kind of customize it to your own needs, right?
Yeah. Just real quick, I do that whole unroll me thing, unroll.me.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of hate it.
I hated it too. I did it for a hot second, and I got rid of it. Yeah.
So I do it, but then when I go to it, I can't really like see and activate and look at the things that I've put in the unroll. Yeah, it's not particularly well done. I'm not happy. Anyway, please go ahead.
Yeah, no. So and even things like saying, so for example, I get a lot of system notifications, like from the server that I run.
Yeah.
So those are important. I want to keep them, but I don't want to see them because I don't look at each one.
Yeah.
So it's like if anything says system notification, it goes into a system notifications folder. I automatically mark it as read. That's the other thing. You can mark it as read.
Yeah.
So in a filter.
Ooh, cool.
So it doesn't. So basically, when I look at my unread emails,
I
only have like 8 to 10 at a given time.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the other stuff that I'm getting is all being marked as read, so that doesn't inflate my unread count. Because most of those, like you said, those 5,000 unread emails, all crap you're not going to read.
Right.
You're never going to read it.
Right.
But like looking at that number makes you feel like I'm completely overwhelmed.
Oh, I've had people look at my phone and they're like, "What?" They're like completely.
So I mean, literally the first time I did this, all I did was select every single email in my account and just archive them all at once.
Oh,
and I'm like, if it's important, they'll email me again.
That's cheating.
Hey, reply to your top 10. But the thing is, like, you just need to get started.
Yeah.
And if you're like, I need to go through everyone, you're never going to do it. And take the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you didn't get to in the last week, you're not getting to.
Right.
Sorry, you know what I mean? It's not happened once. You just rip the bandage off.
But wait, you have a system where if you have a to-do or there's something on your calendar, you have I think it's a paid thing that you email to and it adds it as tell us about that.
So you're talking about a couple of different things. So there are a lot of add-ons for Gmail. Once you have this, they really make processing email really quickly.
Yeah.
So if you think about your email as a to-do list rather than just email, there are always going to be things you're going to get to where you're just not ready to do it. So like if I email you, Patti, and I'm like, oh, Patti, I need X, Y, Z, and you're like, I'm out on the road or I don't have it right now, I'm going to get it next week. The default kind of thing is you just leave it in your inbox.
Right.
But the problem is like if stuff starts to pile up on top of it, you lose it. At least that's what was happening with me.
Yep.
So, and I wouldn't reply, and then you're like, I have a million emails, and it's easy to lose stuff. So there's a web app called followup.cc, and I think it's like $10. It's like $15 a month or something. I think there's a free version. Can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But all it does is you sign up for it, and you just go about your day. You don't have to install it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you get an email, let's say I have that email from you, it says, "Hey Dan, I need that login information. I don't have it yet, but
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna have it like Wednesday. I need to reply to this email later, right?"
Yeah.
What you do is you put in the BCC field, you forward that email,
Okay.
and in the BCC I would put Wednesday at followup.cc.
Okay.
Or I could put Wednesday 6 a.m. or Wednesday 8 a.m.
Okay.
I forward it and I archive it.
Okay.
So the email is gone from my inbox.
Yeah.
Wednesday at 6 a.m. or whatever time I specify, that email will then come back to my email box saying,
Nice.
"Hey, you snoozed this email," basically.
Yeah.
And it sends it back. And then I can reply to it when I'm ready.
Right.
So for example, the way I use this is, for the record label I run, I get a lot of like demo submissions, and I can't listen to demo submissions during the week. It's just not something. So I'm like, I listen to these all on Sunday. So I forward every single one to Sunday at followup.cc, and then on Sunday when I have time, I open up my email, I get all the demo submissions at once,
Yeah.
and I just go through them, listen to them, and archive them. The other thing you can do that's fun, which I've never actually done, is that's if you BCC. If you CC followup.cc, it will email both parties.
Ah.
So it's like, okay, like, hey, why don't we, I'll tell you what, let's follow up with about this on Wednesday. And you're like, yeah, cool. So I forward that email to Wednesday at followup.cc in the CC field. Both of us will get that email.
Cool.
This is funny because you can, if you really want to bug someone, you can actually set it to like every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And every Wednesday you're going to get this email like, did you do that thing yet? Did you do that thing yet? Did you do that thing yet? You can do it like every day, whatever.
No, but that's terrific. Now, I had a question. Can you set up like a Gmail rule, like you were saying, the record label stuff? Can you have that automatically be BCC'd to?
I could, but the problem with the demo submissions is they don't always come from the same place or have the same text in them, right? So that they're coming from all sorts of random people. But
you could,
if, for example, if I set up a demo submission form, what I could do is just have it send it to me and automatically send it to the thing, so I would see that I got it, but then I would only send it. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. So that's followup.cc.
Followup.cc. That's the domain. It's a great, simple service. It's like once you have it, it's sort of like I can't remember what I ever did without it.
Right.
The other thing that I use, there's a calendar app. I can't remember what it's called, but in my email where it detects dates. And if you hover over a date, it shows you your Google Calendar for that day. So if you say like, oh, why don't we meet up like Wednesday at noon, I can hover over the words Wednesday at noon. It'll show me my calendar during that time, let me know if I'm open or not, and then I can just create an event from the email inside the email. Nice. Stuff like that like really makes a big difference. But the real big shift is the inbox and optional. Yeah. The archiving everything when you're done with it. Yeah. And then just forwarding everything to followup.cc. So the thing is, like, if I get an email, it either gets archived or gets forwarded or it gets replied to. Right. Every single time, right? And then I make sure to only check my email during certain times. And that's a huge, I mean, just processing email, it takes up such a large part of the day. Yeah. That it really makes a big difference. Then the other thing that's cool for kind of automating things in general is, so I have a general rule. We talked about Evernote a little bit. Yeah, yeah. So Evernote is kind of where I put everything by default. Yeah. And for those of you guys who don't know, Evernote, it's a sort of a personal database thing. You can save anything into Evernote. It makes it searchable, makes it findable later. Mm-hmm. So emails, receipts, whatever, everything I just save into Evernote and then I forget about it. Mm-hmm. I really don't worry about keeping track of anything. I'm like, if it's in Evernote, I'll be able to find it. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's nice is that I use tools like Zapier. So Zapier is Zapier. Yeah. Which is a tool that connects different pieces of software. Yeah. So for example, I'll tell you how I set up sort of a central database, because part of the problem it was that, I had different payment processors, I had all this different stuff going on, I had email follow-up sequences and forms and lots of stuff happening, and I wasn't sure how to keep track of it all. So my team and I use HipChat as a chat room. In fact, I'll show you. I can show my HipChat.
Okay.
On.
What's the benefits of that versus just chat?
Well, it's a persistent chat. So it's a persistent chat room for our team.
Oh, got it.
Right? So like you can see, like this is like all our kind of text or whatever. And when people are on, whenever someone's on from the team, I have them log into HipChat so they're available, right?
Okay.
And if I'm working, I'm in HipChat.
Right.
So one of the things I did was with Zapier, I can set up pretty much anything to pin HipChat. So for example, if you see here, this is an update from Basecamp.
Okay.
So whenever someone posts in Basecamp or makes any comment in Basecamp, it gets tagged here. So I just kind of look in here and I can see like, okay, so for example, okay, we got a payment to our PayPal account.
Okay.
Okay, like someone posted a message for me earlier, right? Or, okay, I got a payment from one of my Infusionsoft campaigns, right? So essentially what it does is it allows me to say like, okay, if anything's going to happen, right, if anything's happening, all I have to do is have this one window up, and I can just kind of get a sense of like all the places where the business is touching whoever, and then get a sense of if I need to respond. So if I see, for example, a client just posted in Basecamp, and I know that they're having a problem or whatever, I'll pop into Basecamp to see what was up. But otherwise, I don't worry about it.
Right.
Right.
So you have like a dashboard where Zapier is monitoring the other applications that you're using and sending updates or changes or additions.
Exactly. This is now it's a central dashboard for every single system I use. Like, so I'll get an update. It'll get an update if someone pays an invoice.
Yeah.
It'll get an update if an invoice is late.
Yeah.
Right. So what it might do is I could even have it set up so that it can send a specific message. So for example, if I wanted my project manager to follow up on any late invoice, when there's a late invoice, it can send a message to HipChat, tag him in the message and say, hey, this client has a late invoice, can you call them? This is the client, this was the invoice. Right. So it's like a centralized dashboard. So what I wanted to stop doing was checking stuff all the time.
Right.
I would have to like check my Basecamp, check my Infusionsoft.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to. The things that I need to respond to automatically ping the HipChat, and I just kind of look at the HipChat a couple times, once an hour to get a sense of where everyone is.
I love that. Now, is HipChat pay? I mean, I know Zapier is.
Zapier's got like a $15 a month plan. HipChat is free under a certain number of users. Like we have the free version.
Okay.
But it's a great. I was actually using it before I had a team. I just set Zapier up to ping it all the time. Yeah. Because that way it's just kind of centralized.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the other thing that's great for me is that because I use Infusionsoft, I put a lot of my system stuff in Infusionsoft. So for example, when someone signs up for, let's say, PPC management, they needed to get sent to a survey where we would take a bunch of information, right? So what I had them do was when they signed up via some other service or when they paid an invoice, it would tag them as something as Infusionsoft via Zapier, and then Infusionsoft would automatically put them in the right follow-up sequence. So then I'd know everyone's getting every single email, right? And it's not going to go until they fill out the survey. It's not going to stop until they pay the invoice or whatever it is. Excellent. So
I've used Zapier with Infusionsoft before. I had issues trying to coordinate GoToWebinar and Infusionsoft, and it was sort of like a total not easy thing to set up. So I ended up having I think the users were signing up through GoToWebinar, and then as they signed up, that contact information was being sent via Zapier as a zap to Infusionsoft. So I'm familiar with that, but no, I like HipChat, and especially as a project manager, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun too to something that's cool to do that I've done a little bit is for like competitor research and stuff.
Yeah.
You can sign up for your competitors' emails. So, for example, when I'm rolling out a new funnel creation program.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I did was I went out and I signed up for a bunch of competitor programs because I wanted to see what they did. I wanted to see how they targeted people. I wanted to see how they talk. So, it's kind of like these people are primarily talking to women. They're talking this way. What works about it? But I didn't want to read their email.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I set up a Zap so that anytime an email from a certain, so like if I sign up for someone, I would pop their email into a Zapier and it'd just say, anytime an email comes from this person, save the email to Evernote in a notebook that's called competitor research.
Yeah.
Right? And so I can go through and just see like, here's every single email that they sent. So like the first week after you sign up, what did they send me? And I can go through, and when I'm ready, I can just kind of look through it all once and be like, oh, okay, they're doing a good job of this, they're not doing a good job of that.
Yeah.
That stuff is great, right?
Yeah.
Because it really is just kind of like you set it and forget it, and then it's all there when you're ready to sit down and actually.
Yes. I love that.
That's the most important thing to me, is that I think time management really is all about the idea that you come to something when you are ready to come to it. You don't have it come to you.
Yeah.
Because that's your
filtering.
Crazy,
yeah,
right?
You're like this. You're filtering everything all day long.
That's when you feel like you're constantly being pulled in a different direction and you don't know what's going on. And that's really that's where stress comes from. I really believe this. Like, stress comes from trying to do too many things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm just doing this, it's fine. If my baby starts crying, I get stressed because now I feel like I'm pulled in two different directions. So the idea is always like, you set it up so that it's just all in its place when it's ready, and then you go to it and you're like, this is the time I'm going to process all my payments. This is the time I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So that is really, Evernote email and some Zaps. I mean, that's Evernote's free. Zapier you get for $15. Follow up you get for $10 to $15. That makes a huge difference in how you feel about your right.
Well, because you feel like you're not going to drop anything. You feel like you're in the know, that you've got all the information that you need to make choices. I love this stuff, Dan.
Yeah, I do too. This is really fun. Really fun to talk about.
Get my stuff. I think I'm looking for next. I know that we're at the 30-minute mark. I think what I'm looking for next are some sort of alerts. Like, I want to know, and this is either in, I don't know, maybe analytics or within Google or something. Like, doing SEO, I want to be alerted when something changes or something improves dramatically, or, you know what I mean? Like, I want to sort of tap into, how to keep my finger on the pulse of all the projects and all my clients' work.
Yeah, that would be really, like, for example, I would love something so for ad management.
Yeah.
Like for Facebook ads, if it was like, oh, kind of like just ping me with the click-through rate throughout the day or something.
Yeah.
Almost like a stock ticker. And that's harder to do because, places like Google and Facebook, they don't make their APIs available to third-party software, and so it's kind of hard to, well, Google does. And there's got to be some sort of like better real-time analytics dashboard, but they charge usually a lot for that,
right.
I think.
Right.
But yeah, but having that pulse, even if it's just like little stuff like who paid their invoice and stuff, that's nice. And you can do that for free in HipChat. I mean, HipChat's free. Zapier, pay like $15 to get it set up, and I use it for clients. I use it all the time.
I like that. Yeah, and I'm really liking my Wave apps.
Oh yeah, your accounting.
My accounting package. Yeah, I'm sort of. It's taking forever, but I'm slowly getting my arms around my accounting disaster.
Yeah.
Quagmire I've created for myself. But
I think I don't know if Zapier works with Wave. I think it might.
I'll have to look and see if there's something I can do. But I can, I use that to send my invoices. I use that to track all of my stuff for all of my, end of the year tax stuff. I'm also using it for payroll, so I'm on my own payroll because I'm a corporation. And that's, at a relatively low cost. But it has ads on it, but it's as functional as the other big name.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
know?
used it for a while. I think it is. It seems like a good.
It's good.
I just Googled it, and it looks like they're releasing their API
Oh,
this.
okay.
So
Oh,
then
good.
stuff will be able to hook into it, like Zapier and stuff. That'll be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Dan, you're being serious, Dan, today, but I'm loving the content. I'm loving
There you go. Yeah, I'm a little tired. When I get tired, I get really serious.
I see it.
Yeah, well, all right, well, let's wrap it up because we're over, and I appreciate it. First of all, guys, thank you so much for checking this out. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Questions were open. Let me just see real quick. I don't think anyone left any questions. I forgot
I
to
didn't
mention
see
that.
any, no.
No, we're good. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you tuned in halfway through or you want to check any of our past episodes, you can go to YouTube and type in SEO and IPA. You can also go to the Two Friendly Nerds Facebook page. I have it on there. You can also go to twofriendlynerds.com/hangout. That's TWOfriendlynerds.com/hangout to view all our past episodes. Patti, thank you so much as always. Really appreciate it, and I hopefully you got some value out of that stuff.
Can I show? I mean, I took.
Yeah, nice, awesome, and you guys, thank you so much as well. I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure if you like this show, check back in with us next week. We are here every Wednesday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Until then, guys, please optimize responsibly. As always, enjoy yourselves, and we will see you next week.
Optimize?
Right. I did it already. Optimize responsibly.
Oh, did you? Okay, I missed it. Right.
Let's do it. Okay, let's do it like this.
Don't. You're gonna mock me.
No. The beginning I'll go like optimize, and then we'll be like responsibly.
Okay.
Because it's funny to yell responsibly, right? So and that'll be your cue, so we can do it on time.
Dude.
Okay? So let's do it.
I have impeccable timing. I have to tell you.
Do you? I've never seen any evidence of that. All right, let's try it.
I can keep it like.
Let's try it. Let's try it one more time. Optimize.
Because you're mocking me. I see you. I'm all over it.
Fine. It's over. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, and have a great time. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Dan.